Hello folks, this is Callisto8413 and this is Unreal World, which is a survival game set in Norwegian Iron Age, or the Iron Age of Norway, however you want to say it. I've been playing this particular save for a very long time. It is actually in winter. As you can see, I have a cabin, a fireplace. I seem to have some things cooking on the ground there. Yep. Oh, they're being prepared. And I've even modified the game a little bit. But since the game is updated a lot, sometimes the modifications you make are no longer needed. I made it so it's easy to make tying equipment from bark, which is a real world thing. You take bark, strips of bark, you tie it together, you make rope. The game didn't have that before. There were ways to make rope from leather, but you needed to be able to hunt down animals and set up traps, and it kind of is a circular pattern. You could get the leather from the fur, but you need to have the leather in the first place, and so on and so forth. But as you can see, I got a little cabin here. There is fog of war, so if you're not looking in the direction or doors are closed, you can't see what's there. So on and so forth. And I'm out here, and these things around here are meat. This is eagle owl cuts being dried, so it's been tied to the cabin. Here's a little cellar with dried meat. There's a primitive raft. There's a more advanced raft with, see, a putt, nets, and a paddle. Most of the nets were ones I made. Once again, that's a modification. Most people can't make nets in the game. So there's some fences, and there's an elk there. And let's see if I remember how to do. No, that is not what I want. How do I do this? Ah, yes. X is for looking. Boop. Direction where to look. Not very helpful. Let's see if I can make sure I get it right here. L. Yes. Choose a target. Where are you? Did you move? There's some tracks. He's right by the fence now, isn't he? No? Are you in the tree, you little weirdo? Ah! To a red nose. To red nose. Red nose is my... There he is. See? So I wasn't looking at his direction. So there I go. Small reindeer doe called Red Nose, because I named it Red Nose. I'm going to walk around a little bit. Now, it is getting a little hard for me to walk around. My guy's getting fragile. He's, not fragile. He's getting tired. You can see it up here. The problem with that, reason for that is because the snow is actually kind of deep. Let me look at the snow here. Waist deep snow. So if I really wanted to move around properly and check my traps, I want to get some ski equipment, which I have made it myself, actually. Let's see. Most of these items I made myself. Some of them I received during the tutorial. You have like in most games, they do have a beginner like kind of setup where you learn how to do certain things, and if you don't have the item with you, they can't make you learn it. So they teach you. Cloak. And some of these items, some of these pieces of clothing I got when I started it, because you start out with certain scenarios, and others I had with me already. This is not as difficult for me to do to get across the snow. And as you can see, I put little, basically, these are little, traps. These are snares. There are more complex traps. You could put like rock falls and fox traps and all that stuff. Some of them I have already collected and just returned back to the cabin because it's in the middle of the winter, and it's not worth keeping them out here. They're just not getting anything. There's still birds sometimes, and depending on what kind of trap you put out, you might get like a rabbit. There's squirrels, which not really going to get much out of a squirrel. There are, like I said, traps for foxes. Now, one of the reasons I'm showing this game is because it is a free game. There's two versions of this game. Did I just see movement? It's kind of hard to get in here. There's the free one. The gentleman who made the game have a website. You get a free version of the... Nope, I didn't want to zoom out. Okay, let's try that again. No item on your feet. Okay. I want to check not on my feet, though. Yeah, I've always been trying to sneak. Okay. Is my... Actually, this is a good point. Question mark gives you to the area where you could look at commands. And I swear I'm pushing the right command, but it might not be. Okay, I'm pushing L, which is look, but it's looking right at me instead of looking where I want. Okay. Let's look behind me because there's a trap there. Alright, okay, that L is working. I think maybe my cap lock might have been on, whatever. Okay, yeah, there's a loop snare and a fistful of blueberries, but not much else. And I don't need to hide and seek. It's in the middle of the day. It's pretty easy for them to see me. Now, I can hide and seek. I'm pretty good at it. But every once in a while, there's just bad luck. You hit a twig. Something snaps. Animals can be chased into things. You can set up a trap with fences around it, and you can, kind of... I did that near the shoreline here, because there are seals in this area, and this guy is a Seal Southwest Test of Seal Tribe. He's from the Seal Tribe. That's one of the tribes you can pick. Helps you determine some of the skills and attributes, as well as what scenario you pick decides what equipment you start out with. It is, like I said, a very interesting game. I would suggest checking it on YouTube. There's quite a few people who have played it forever. And like I said, there's two versions. I think I was talking about that before I interrupted myself. There's a free one you could get on the website. Then there's one you could pay for on Steam for like $5. That's usually the newest, updated, stable version. I was playing this game well before it got on Steam, and I was willing to put out the $5 for the Steam version. There are many ways to modify the game. People have made mods which allow you to do things like make meat out of honey, different types of recipes, different types of equipment. Once again, I did my own modding, which probably just goes to show how flexible this game is. It is a survival game. Like I said, Iron Age, Norway. No zombies. There are tribes people. There is map. There's big maps you could look at. There's certain things. Let's see if I could do that. Yeah, there's ways to craft. There's skills. There's armor rating. If I can once again find the right thing. Yeah, there you go. Tells you about average heat. For example, my heat right now, I'm doing pretty good. Mostly because of the fur, which is weighing me down. It's caused me a little fatigue there. But, so, it is like a fun game. There's traders, there's villages, there's quests, there's spiritual quests if you want to get into that kind of thing. Like I said, for those who like survival, don't want, zombies or laser cannons or future post-apocalyptic blah blah blah, this is it. If you do like zombies and post-apocalyptic stuff, there are other games out there for that. But if you want something that's just a regular kind of survival Iron Age thing. This will work. You could become a hunter, a trapper. You can trade. I have actual bowls over here with like seeds. You know, I'm fishing. Pick those up. I have firewood. I have too much firewood, probably. I mean, right now it's the middle of winter. And I probably have more firewood than I will ever need. Let me see if I should get something from here. Smoked is usually a little more likely to... let's just take 2. I don't want the pile. I don't want the pounds. But as you can see, let's see, it takes into account your health, you know, how much food you've been eating, nutrition, hunger, thirst, warmth, if you're tired or not, what you're wielding in each hand. It does even have like a little encyclopedia if you want. Let's see. Yeah, game encyclopedia. It could also have music playing throughout it, but I don't. I never find music during a game very useful. But there's more information on the Wikipedia. They have forums also. It's a wonderful game, to be honest. And this is not doing it justice at all. But it really does tell you about the cultures, the different tribes, mythology, you know, northern people. I'm a seal, so I'm probably... Yeah, there I am. So, see, the seal tribe lives in the most extreme north on the northern coast of the UnReal world. They do have a small reindeer herds, but their main source of daily food is the sea. The seal is their totem animal and also their most important prey animal, so they have developed various rites to maintain the good relationship with the seal. Now, there are rites. There are, when I mean rites, I don't mean, you know, rites of like rights of man. I mean rites in like religious sacrifices, stuff like that, and things you can learn from the shaman. There's also, let's see if I could get the right button. This is also, like I said, the encyclopedia. Vest, journals. Don't need that. This is what you'd do if you started out. A new game, you'd play either UnReal World, who cares, you know, game style, Living in the Wild, completed. That's the first one that teach you the basics, and then Advanced Adventures. But there's also, let's see. Already did that. A map, marker. So, those little orange, can I get closer? Probably could. Yeah, I can. This is where I started out from. It was a half-made cabin, a settlement. The best part about that is I had a lot of the tools. They gave me axes and stuff like that. So from there, since I had modded, so I was able to use bark and water to make tying equipment. And tying equipment could be used from everything from making nets to, drying food. You have like a wall or a shelter, and if it's cold enough, you could air dry food. Because in the north, they didn't have a lot of salt sources. The water up north has very little salt. You could drink directly from the sea at this time. I wouldn't suggest it now. In Norway, even if their water is that fresh, I would think about chemicals and stuff like that. But so salt wasn't a big thing until they made contact with like Europe. I think they taught the Basque how to make ships for going deep into the ocean, and the Basque in return showed them how to use salt. So, or is that the I know it's the Vikings, but I'm assuming it's the Norwegian Vikings. But, so yeah, there's different tribes. The cultural region actually shows you the different tribes. The villages over there. I'm not sure these guys are... Yeah, see, Seal tribe, seal tribe. There's two of them there. These are tribes I made contact with. I traded them. I got my reindeer from them. I sometimes go over there and see, hey, well, anything you got? There are traders who seem to run around here, but there's also, I can't even pronounce that. But there's a tribe out there who has steel and chainmail, and they are really, really, really mean. They're invaders, basically. But I prefer, I've tried all these at one time or another, most of them. I tried being an islander. I didn't like it very much because basically the islanders live on islands. And why that sounds cool until you realize there's not a lot of trees and you have to go around the islands and collect trees, and it becomes an awful lot of work. An awful lot of work. So right now I'm very much in the north. You can zoom in, zoom out. Zooming out probably is a little better when you're hunting and fishing and making sure your bears don't catch up with you. But I've had a few animals, a few animals drop into my pit traps there. I've eaten elk. I mean, if you look at the furs under me, there's squirrels and fox, and there's gray seal, and there's elk and stag. So I've gotten a few animals out of luck. The funny thing is, when you're near the coast, a lot of animals follow the coast because that's where the fresh water is and there's less trees there. So if you set up a fence or a trap there, you're more likely to get a few of the bigger animals. Of course, like I said, I don't want a bear. I mean, I could probably take down a bear, and I don't remember if I have a bear in my inventory for or not. No, I don't think I've killed bears yet. Maybe? Maybe not. But, like I said, it is a fun game. You can get it free on the website, or you could get it for Steam for like $5. The advantage of Steam is that it is the most advanced, stable game, but that's not always true because there's always going to be some glitch. They're always updating it. So if you get it from the forum or the website of the creators, you'll get it free, but you'll also get one that's a little bit behind when it comes to the items and the technology and the things you could do. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I hope I didn't babble too much. Look at this guy's a little tired, so what we're going to do is, I think, let's see, / there you go. He's going to rest until he's not fatigued. And maybe he might be a little hungry or thirsty, but he doesn't seem to be. He seems to be okay. So, fire's about to burn out, and it's actually, it is out. It is out. See that all? It is out. And sometimes, like I said, there are no zombies, but there are spirits. Sometimes you feel uncomfortable and you have to sacrifice a fish or you have to do a prayer. It could be all in your head, or it could be that spirits and gods do exist. There are ceremonies that deal a lot with vision quests and all that. And I had found some mushrooms, and I do forage around in spring and summer and fall, and you find mushrooms sometimes make you sick. I'm assuming there's mushrooms out there that give you visions. I haven't tried that yet. Now, like I said, I have modded it. For example, I'm standing right on a rock. That's a workbench there. There's a rock and a rough leather pot, and you can see it kind of looks like a little brown thing with a rim around it that looks kind of burnt. I made that. There are iron pots in here, but there's no rough leather. There's no leather pots. So I actually made a way to make leather into a pot. And I even took the iron image of the iron pot, the little image, and I actually redrew it or recolored it and made a whole. So I made a whole different item and a way to make that item. And you have to remember, I'm not an advanced game designer, but I figured out from the other way people made the mods and from looking at the actual programming that there's ways to design things brand new if you know what you're doing. So there are people who have made mining in this game. so you can make iron tools and iron weapons and iron. And there are iron tools and iron weapons already in the game, but you have to trade for those usually. Just like the boat I showed you, I made that from a mod. I made my own mod, and I made it somewhat difficult because I looked up how to make it. I'm like, okay, let's make this a wooden punt, and let's make it very difficult to make. It took like hours, like a lot of man hours in game to do that. It even took a long time in game because I didn't want to make it too easy. So a lot of the things you can mod and you can make as realistic as you want. This is a survival game. A lot of people want to have a lot of variety to way to play it themselves, but without breaking, making it too easy. So, like I said, it is a very good game. I'll make sure to put the website of the creators down in the description, but you can also get it in Steam if you already have a Steam account, and I think it's only $5. I mean, some of you probably already have credit like that for games you bought, didn't like, and returned. And in a day, in this time where we're kind of stuck inside, it might not be a bad game to play. Ironically, during the winter time, if you don't go out enough, your character will get stir crazy. Also, you have to make sure that your character gets a balanced diet. If you eat too much of one thing, you will actually start to lose the benefit of having so much meat. That's why there's also berries and fish and stuff in my let me show you my little cellar, my little ice box. My little ice box. There's, let's do the grab command so I can see it all. So there's berries, blueberries. I use those for there's stags here. And there's lots of fish. Fish is good for you. But also, forest reindeer. A lot of it's dried. That was stuff that was dried out in the wind. Some of it was smoked. That was stuff smoked inside my cabin. The smoke doesn't last as long, but it does last longer inside one of these little ice boxes. But most of this is dried, and that dried stuff can last forever. A few birds, as you can see. They also supply me with lots of feathers. So it's seal, gray seal. If you trade some of that, if you could carry it, you could trade it, with the villagers. I think you can put it onto the reindeer and lead the reindeer and act like a pack animal. You could also trade items for dogs if you want to go hunting. They're very good for hunting because you have to track animals in this game. And I'm babbling, aren't I? I'm still talking about this game. There is really no way in one small episode or one large episode to describe how interesting this game is, how complicated, and how tough it is at the beginning. Not as bad as Dwarf Fortress, Fortress Mode, or Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode, which is a mode I'm probably going to show you guys quite soon too. But it is a fascinating game if you're into survival or history or Iron Age or Norwegian culture. This is a real game you'd want to play. It's just that good. Okay, guys, this is Callisto8413 or Seal SW Test of Seal Tribe. And technically, I'm not SW, am I? I'm NW because I'm in the northwest, not the southwest. The southwest would have been the Islanders. Oh well, whatever. Also, other mods allow you to replace the pictures. You have a certain amount of pictures available to represent you, and you could be female or male. But there's a lot of mods out there that replace the pictures so you could be an anime character or you could be a character from King of Dragon Pass or whatnot. More fantasy kind of characters. The people they have in the images right now, I believe, were people who just send in images to them of them trying to be, looking Norwegian. And I think some of them might be donors, sponsors, or just people who are look, I have a really good look and it's authentic. Go for it. So, once again, thank you for watching, guys. I hope I've brought you another free game. Technically, it's a free game because you could get it free. But if you want to give those, those people $5, you could do that. They've been working on this game since the 90s. This game has been in active production since the 90s. It's the longest continuously made game. This is the Doctor Who of games. Give them some credit. All right? Have a good day. Stay safe.